Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast again. I've got Nabil and James with me as always. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How you doing, Chris?
Not too bad. Nabil, what's going on with you?
Trying to figure out the Wi-Fi. What is up? I'm assuming you hit record.
I did hit record. Yeah, right before we started recording, Nabil shared with James and myself that if he goes silent, it's because he's having connection issues, and that's why he goes silent. I'm pretty sure, James, that's the only thing that would ever make Nabil shut up, right? That's that.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
That, or if we finally get a better quarterback.
Like, why? Why you got to be like that? You know? What are you?
Moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on. What even happened with your guys' matchups last week? Nabil, I know you got a win. You got in the dub column, and then
that consistent 110-ish score.
Yeah.
I believe I had a donut, as or per usual, because I think Justin Jackson was injured.
Yep.
Which honestly, at this point, I'm battling all I can to get anyone who could put up points at this point. But I felt all right.
Yeah.
It's not like Antonio had much luck either. So
no, he had 3 position players score 3.8 or less, and then only got a combined 5.2 out of the kicker and defense. So definitely wasted his 37-point McCaffrey explosion, which that sucks for Christian McCaffrey too. Like I hate it when guys get hurt immediately after they come back.
Yeah. Especially someone as talented as him.
Yeah, it's just we're all robbed as fans if we don't get to see them play. And sorry, yeah, James, I forgot that you had the nail biting close loss that basically puts you out of the running. I'd say probably for the goose egg from
Ridley out.
Yeah. What's the story behind that actually? Because was he a game time decision or what's the?
He was a game time decision, and I was busy Sunday morning. I checked earlier in the morning, thought he was a go. I could have got Kelly in there, but
you would have had to move a lot of stuff around though, right? Because then you would have had to put Antonio Brown out of the flex into the receiver spot, and then put Kelly in to the flex, and that because if you just swapped him with Ayuk, you would have been screwed. Or did Ayuk even play?
No, he was on the COVID.
That's right, he was on COVID. You didn't have many options, but or if you had gone with Shenault, that would have been almost worse.
Did you really pick up Penny? I just noticed that.
Waiting for the late season push.
See, okay, that's the thing though. Okay, we kind of talked about this, and with I just want to talk about the waiver wire and how barren it is. There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing.
Look at who I'm starting as my second running back. It's Chris Thompson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I get it, man.
I think a combination of all the injuries and then also the depth and the strength of our league has definitely made it really tough to find late talent. And something I said before we started recording it, it makes me feel that much better about dropping over half my fab dollars on Deontay Johnson, because it's rare that someone that talented is going to pop up at this point. There's just really not. There's just not that much left,
Do you guys actually know the story about Kalen Ballage right now, and the fact that he's not actually on the starting roster right now?
Is he on the practice squad?
Yeah, so they keep doing this, playing around with moving him to. So apparently teams can now, because it's a 52-man roster typically, right?
53, but yeah.
Oh, okay, 53. Okay, so then I guess they can move 1 or 2 players a week from the practice squad to the starting roster, every week. So teams can technically hold 2 additional players every week. So he's just chilling on the practice squad, but I guess they might activate him once they know.
That's super weird.
Jackson, but yeah, I don't know, but he definitely looked like the best back that San Diego had. I just look and he's been kind of a joke since he was like on the Dolphins. That I think it was him that like
Right.
he ducked out of the way of a pass that was like right at him, or
kinda
right
remember
for
that, yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But
like
yeah, I think was he an Alabama guy?
Kalen
Yeah.
Balaj?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Kalen Balaj.
What?
I knew he was on the Dolphins, and then I knew he almost got traded to the Jets.
Was I? Oh,
Arizona State.
Okay.
Yeah, it couldn't have been
So
more
an,
wrong.
an A school. That's about
Yeah.
it though.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take
no
it.
worries. There was definitely one match that we need to look at because it has easily the most playoff implication, and I just can't. Like Ryan Rocha, I love you, buddy, but I'm tired of you getting all the breaks. I really am. Like, I cannot believe how poorly the Bucks played, and I cannot believe also that turned into Spencer coming up just short.
Best trade I've ever made.
Just short. James, did you have any thoughts on just like what? I mean, obviously you're watching your own struggles, your own struggling team, not kind of pull it out and keep you in. But like, what did you like? This one I think implies just has so many more implications for the rest of the league. Any thoughts on the Spencer? I won't call it a choke because it's not like he he could have done much else, but definitely thought he was going to pull out the win until about midway through the second quarter on Sunday night.
Yeah, I think two things stand out. One, that he gets the Gus Edwards rushing touchdown and like the Gus Edwards resurgence to get him just enough
Right.
for the win. And then we talked about it a little before recording, but the Tom Brady play over Drew Brees, I think I would have made the same call. I feel like it's like supposed to be a shootout, and then Brady throws 3 picks.
3 picks.
Only 5 points. That's a huge bummer.
Yeah, it really was. Nabil, any other thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, he just went through the same predicament that I had, which was when I owned Breeze and Brady and choosing which one. And honestly, yeah, I think he did make the right decision. He technically put part of his next season on the line. So, and Brady, honestly, to that point, had been playing pretty well, except I think his first week, right? So, or second week, I guess.
Yeah,
but
his game.
Yeah, so I mean, he also got unlucky. Like Derrick Henry got him 6 points. Is that what I saw? Like, that's not like. Just move on. This is a terrible week for Spencer. I actually think it's probably the best thing to happen for our league as far as leaving the playoffs even more open. We already know Ryan's in there, right? So the more people Ryan actually beats at this point, the better for us, because it keeps. I mean, the fact that I'm sitting there at 10th, I'm creeping my way up, but like 3 and 6. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like even freaking Hunter has a shot at playoffs.
Well, Hunter's got a long shot.
No, he's got terrible points for it, but
he's not going to win any tiebreakers, so he basically has to win out. Because he's not going to get in at 6 and 7, right? Like he won't be the only team. Like he's got to win out and hope that everything bounces his way, so that he's not like in a 3-way tie for that last spot or anything like that. You know,
I'm hoping for it. Even though I want to make playoffs, I mean, if Hunter makes playoffs, I'm cheering him all the way.
Yeah, well, I think it's clear that Ryan's going to get one of the 2 buys, and then it's probably going to come down to either Kevin or Travis. Like maybe Drew sneaks in there, gets the other one, but.
I mean, Travis would have to lose because I mean I mean that's also insane that he has a 140-point lead over Kevin, like for that tiebreaker. So
yeah. Travis plays me this week. I mean I am definitely the underdog there, and then he plays Rocha though in week 11, and it's like we've talked about like a couple different times this year. Like, is this a Splatty Bowl preview? But like this is like week 11. Travis versus Rocha has to be the closest thing that we're gonna have to the like this could be the championship round preview. That'll go along. Like if Travis can win the next 2 weeks, like he'll take Ryan down a peg if he does get that win, meaning Ryan would only have to drop 1 more to get in a tie with him. Ryan does play Devin, and so he's this week is probably the only time that Ryan's not going to be a heavy favorite. But Travis could theoretically still track down Ryan for that 1 seed if Ryan doesn't pull off the win against Devin. But yeah,
Come on,
it's
go ahead.
like,
Come on. Click on Bye Bye Brady. Let me just show you my way. I'm making it.
okay, we'll talk about you. Go ahead. Let's talk about your path to
Well,
the.
I have the easy win. Hopefully.
Hey,
How'd that
Except
go
look at
for?
the-
speak too
hold up.
soon.
Yeah,
I know, but also just go ahead and look at the projections. I'm actually projected to lose, so I mean I'm mostly kidding.
Oh my gosh, you are.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? My bench is full of letters. I have alphabet soup on my bench. Like just but I mean, I'm mostly kidding.
Brutal.
It will be interesting though, and I think the main part of my joke is like no one should give up at this point, and like as much as you can
Yeah,
sell,
it's
right? Like I don't think you need to blow it up at this point unless because we still have till the end of the month to
Yeah.
make trades.
Yeah.
And we're so goddamn active before we actually have the draft that like it almost also doesn't matter, except that you might get someone who is more desperate for talent, but probably why we're on the bottom is we don't have any talent.
right. I did receive one inquiry in about Darren Waller this week, and I have a high asking price, and I don't want to talk about a ton of details on it just on the podcast. But like, he was a 3rd round pick for me. Like, I need to get a lot out of that if I'm gonna just dump. But like, it's it feels like every week I feel like I keep saying this, but it's like now it's like I gotta win this week, like, or else it's like it's over, right? But and I pulled off the win, and so I don't know what James, how are you feeling? Because I know we talked about last week. You said like it's now or never, and now so is it never? Like what's the
Now it's now or never. I did not think that after losing to Hunter, I had a chance, but seeing everyone at 3-6 and 6th place is a win away. Nick Chubb's back. Antonio Brown maybe will all of a sudden start lighting it up. I have a chance.
Not in your starting lineup right now. Is that going to change for this week? You think? Like
Unsure yet. I'm between him and Ayuk, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's either one, like in that flex spot, I think is a good call. It's just, you got to like it basically like if one of them scores a touchdown, that's the right guy to go with. If not, like it's probably a toss up. But
I always like lean towards if you're in that dome like that, regardless of like the matchup, you're going against like the Niners are going against Breeze, right? And they don't necessarily have the greatest quarterback, but either way, they're going to be so far behind that they're going to have to throw.
And Debo's out, so hopefully it's just like a lot of screen passes and slants, and Ayuk keeps me alive for one more week. I really got to get out of the 6-game losing streak. It's been no fun for a month and a half at this point.
Yeah, that sucks. And then apologies again to Hoyt, who still hasn't got out of the rut either. But you do not have the longest losing streak in the league, Ryan Hoyt. Yeah, actually, that belongs to James.
Like
in a row.
Hoyt must absolutely hate that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The second we started joking about it, it just like Hoyt, hang in there. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of rooting for you to lose out.
I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm talking bad about Hoyt because I'm not, but like because he's had a lot of bad luck, but
yeah,
he has one of the like best versions of the like long keeper contract, like when he got Kamara like in like the 12th freaking round 4 years ago or whatever, and he's had it like, and now like he still can keep Kamara one more time. Like he's still not like, and he's probably worth a 3rd round keeper next year, but like I don't think Hoyt has made the playoffs in that stretch. Like with
feels so bad.
Like with one of the best, like maybe the first year. Like I honestly, like I'd have to go back and look.
No, he's had the best running back since he drafted him that season. I mean, you could say like even if there's like McCaffrey, right? But McCaffrey's never been a keeper. Like
right, that's what I mean. Like he's at the best keep. Like he's.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like we do rag on Hoyt, and I definitely am one of the guys who definitely leans in and jumps on it and keeps it going. But I feel for him, but I mean, we need a good storyline here, and I think nothing better than jinxing him is.
Can Hoyt? Well, Hoyt's got a matchup with Antonio. We can take a peek into that one. And if the winner of this matchup between Ryan Hoyt and Antonio absolutely like still has that route to the playoffs, like James was talking about, how like everyone's at 3-6. I think the loser, and I know this might be just like famous last words, the loser of this matchup's probably done going to 3-7 with a log jam in front of you. But like whoever wins still has a shot. And like, can Hoyt get over the hump and finally like make a push towards?
But can you also look at his team?
getting
Like his
playoffs.
team's not terrible. Like
No, it's not at
Singletary, I
all.
think kind of is. Does he have anyone? Or can you show us his bench?
So, yeah, let's take the bench. Let's go with the bench.
Because I think that's his biggest thing is like he is relying on like Kamara to put up such high numbers that it helps balance his RB2 to give him like RB1 numbers. So he needs like 25 out of, Kamara. He probably will put in Mixon, assuming Mixon plays.
Yeah.
And then Hoyt's
Over
team becomes
Singletary,
very scary.
Yeah, so if Mixon plays, all of a sudden Hoyt is like very close to like, being that team to make a run to knock out one of those, like to knock out a Rocha or a Travis if just the ball bounces his way. Let's take a look at Hoyt's the rest of his schedule. So I'm curious. Obviously, like I said, he's got the where'd he go? I can't think and talk at the same time. There it is. It's alphabetical, except for me, but also based on what your team name was when the league opened. I think, yeah. So like then
weird.
So like okay, so look, like Hoyt's got Hunter after this.
Wow, he's got 3 punching bags at the end.
Yeah, like this, like he's just got it. Like if he had one win out of all of these, just one time, if he had pulled out the win, it's like okay, now he's even got like a little bit of a cushion to make the run. But Hoyt's got to be feeling like I know, and he's gonna hate us for jinxing him again, but he's still got to be feeling okay despite losing 5 in a row. He's got to be feeling a little bit okay about the chance just to sneak in, and that's.
I would say that this is like okay, we're all of us 3-6ers are sitting here at like this is the make or break, but like I think if any of us lose at this point, this actually is it because I think the second you hit 7 losses, like.
Now you have to go 3-0 to have a shot. Yeah.
And because you're looking at the tiebreakers, and I think pretty much everyone other than Hoyt don't really have like that strong of a points for. Like so like if he loses this, like he might still be able to fight, but like we're all done for sure.
Yeah. If James puts up like a monster like 150 to 160 week, then James, you probably have a chance to like maybe like sneak in and start competing with Spencer, with Drew if they have a bad week. But like you need that monster week to jump up. Like I'm not even at 1,000 points yet. Like I'm screwed. Like
same.
Like you're screwed. Yeah. Like. And then as much as like Antonio and Hunter aren't out of it yet, like they're also down. Like they got to win out and be lucky. Like
Chris, I just want to compare our points against, and I'm a little frustrated.
Dude, if Saquon Barkley hadn't gotten hurt, like
you would, that would have been huge.
I'd be up here with Ryan. Like I legitimately like okay. Also, I've talked about this with Kevin a bunch of times. And if you go back and look, what's super frustrating about our league is just historically, points against is actually so much of a better indicator of success in the standings than points for. Like every year, somebody has like Ryan has a tiny amount of points scored against them, and that just catapults them to the top because they just get lucky. And then someone like Travis just absolutely is running away with the most points, but then because he's
played such difficult schedule.
Like he's got such a difficult schedule comparatively, like he's 2 games behind Rocha in the standings, and it's just it's annoying, but like that's fantasy. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
But if you look at my schedule, like I barely lost to Nabil in week 2. That was the week that Saquon Barkley got hurt. Like if he plays the rest he got hurt in like the first or second quarter. He plays the rest of that game, like I win.
Like I think that wasn't that also the Will Fuller week. So I don't know.
I lost you by less than a point.
Yeah, but Will Fuller didn't put up any points that game, right?
That I know, but like this was like he literally like if Barkley gets
no, but we're just saying
catch,
this.
I did like like my entire season is basically shit because Saquon Barkley got hurt.
Oh,
Like
no.
if that doesn't happen,
And if you would remember, the trade that got you Saquon netted me Calvin Ridley
it
in
did.
like the seventh.
It did.
Could have
Which
been a huge flip.
which Ridley ended up being great for you early on, and then I don't like
Last week
it's-
was, I think, his first week out, or 2
Right.
weeks ago. Yeah.
But yeah, just that that's probably it's only one more win that I get, Nabil. Like I probably don't beat Spencer still, just with looking. Like, I actually got a lot of good production out of my running backs, but like one more win, and
Well,
then
I would
I would
say,
be
like-
5-4. Like that'd be huge. That'd
I
be
would say like
huge.
giving you a hard time, but like I think at least your team has produced in the like above 120 or 130, right? Like I'm still sitting praying for a 120, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
120,
I
yeah.
think that's the thing where it's like I don't actually have that much confidence if I was to squeak into playoffs because of the fact that I have not put an impressive score up.
You're not putting playoff scores up.
Right. Like
you're
at the end of the season, I might be a somewhat decent point. Like my ratio between points for and points against will probably be fine because I'm winning close ones, but I'm never putting out outstanding scores. But I don't know. It's okay. We don't have to focus on our
you haven't gone under 100 yet, but like you also still haven't gone over 125, and that was only one time.
And I almost lost that match.
Yeah, and then what? Like let's see, where was? Yeah, and I don't remember what happened exactly to you week
Chubb
4
went
when you
down.
played me.
and-
Cup went
yeah.
down. That's right. Yeah, and then since then it's been just your team just blew up those first couple of weeks, James, and it was like, here we go again. James
It
is
was
going back to the
feeling
Squatty
great.
Bowl.
I was so happy.
What else do we want to look at for week 10 then? Just kind of taking a look, see here. Oh, we got to talk about Drew and Spence. Obviously, this is a big matchup in terms of determining playoff. Whoever wins I would think Spencer, I have to double check how he's doing in total points, but I would think he'd pass Drew in total points. Taking a look at this one.
There's a game already.
Oh yeah, I was like, why is this highlight? It started. Yeah, we are recording this. It's almost 5:30 here on Thursday. What's just looking at the rosters here? What's your big takeaway, Nabil, from what's the biggest factor in this matchup? You think?
The same thing every week for Drew, which is the Wilson Metcalf stack. Do you get the blow up game from Metcalf, or do you get the blow up game from Lockett? And I think that really is going to be the deciding factor for Drew. Otherwise, it's can Spencer finally get points out of Thomas? He does have the stack with Breeze, which would be nice. And it looks like he got a little scared away from Brady there. So it'll be interesting if he's finally going to be playing that game of hot potato when it comes to your quarterback and trying to figure out exactly who to play, especially when you have someone like Brady and Breeze, who are both big names who do usually produce. It'll be interesting. I mean, I think he chose the right guy because the San Francisco's. Oh wow, we got our first point.
3 yard rush by Derrick Henry. Nice.
But yeah, long story short, I think he has the right matchup there, and it's going to be a battle of the stacks, I suppose.
James, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. If Michael Thomas now with one game under his belt, they're in the dome, they're against the Niners and a nothing of a secondary at this point. And then maybe if you can get Robbie Anderson to go off in a divisional game.
Yeah. That's the divisional game aspect actually worries me a bit about Wilson and Metcalf for Drew. Just with how tough the NFC West has been and with how familiar these teams are. I mean, some people don't remember, but the Seahawks are the most recent team to win a Super Bowl in the NFC West, but they have the longest Super Bowl appearance drought out of the teams in the NFC West. Like this is not like out of nowhere that the NFC West is that good. And clearly the best division. Like the Cardinals, Rams, and 49ers have all been back to the Super Bowl since the greatest play ever made in Super Bowl history. When they didn't hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch and I'm blanking on his name. What's his name for New England? Who picked off? Was it Butler? Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson at the goal line.
The Cardinals have been back to the Super Bowl after that.
They have, yeah. In 2000,
They weren't the Super Bowl. They went to the NFC Championship. I think
maybe that's what I'm
the
thinking.
one with Palmer.
No, I thought they made it into.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe I was wrong about the Super Bowl drought, but they're the longest NFC title game appearance drought.
Yeah.
First of all, anyway, so I'm worried for Drew that might not be a ton of points there if it turns into like a war of attrition between the Rams and Seahawks. Also, I think Breeze being projected for under 20 points against the San Francisco 49ers JV team is just criminally low as a projection. That is ridiculous.
I actually okay. So can I
ridiculous.
doubt? I'm gonna
Sure.
counter your point here because I do actually think that the Saints, what they tend to do, and because I've been a like Breeze owner for a couple seasons on different leagues as well, is you're almost always plagued by the easy team when it comes to Breeze because you think it's gonna be a game that's really good, but they're probably just going to run the ball with Murray and Kamara to kill the clock. And it's not that hard to run against the Niners. I mean, we have a lot of holes, and sure, they might have fared well recently, but there's just not going to be a competition that Breeze needs to keep chucking. And then my point I wanted to make on Russell Wilson that I guess as it relates to playing in division against the Rams is with Ramsey being the corner and being a shutdown, I wonder if for once he's not going to just be locked on to one receiver because of Lockett and Metcalf. So you might not have a boom or a bust game. You might finally get kind of just like that average, like 10 or 11, just because he's not going to be shut down or they're not just going to leave him alone. I think both receivers are respected. And so therefore,
I'm totally
probably explode.
Totally on board with your last point, but just to counter, like Breeze did most of the damage in the first half against Tampa Bay last week.
You can't run against Tampa Bay though.
I know you get, but like they just because they could run the clock out against the Niners does not mean that they're not going to also pass the ball around the field. He threw to 11 different receivers on Sunday night. Like they're still going to pass the ball as much as they want again and again against the JV team essentially for the 49ers. Like I just don't think. Even though he also hasn't even gone over 23 this year, I have a bad feeling that this is going to be an absolute blowout. And
Chris, let's make a bet.
James, yeah, well let's make a bet. What do you want to bet?
All right, over under 20. You're going to take over 20.
I'll take over 20. You want to just put $5 on Drew Brees?
Sure.
Over. So yeah, just put it right up. Or if it hits 20 on the dot, we'll call it a push.
Yeah.
All right. James, anything else on this game?
The only other thing I'm seeing is Robert Woods in the Seattle game. I think that'll just be so interesting if it's one of those random NFC West games that's like 13-10, or if it's like a 30-30 game. Yeah. Then Drew's running away with it.
That's a good point. Yeah, he has a lot riding on that game with Woods in there as well. So let's look at that as far as standings go. Okay, yeah. So if Spencer wins, he's already ahead of Drew in points, so he will pass him if he gets the win. Could potentially pass Kevin if Kevin doesn't get a win either. Won't pass Travis if I somehow pull off the upset. So Spencer's looking at.
I think it just puts him in
getting all the way up into third place, if he gets the win. And like same thing with Drew, like if he gets the win and Travis or Kevin doesn't, like either one of them all of a sudden is in that third spot potentially after a win. So a lot riding on that match for sure. Any other matchups that are really jumping out to? We already talked about Hoyt and Antonio. I don't really want to talk about the slaughter. It's going to be me versus Travis. Nabil, you think you're going to pull off the win against Hunter?
Wait a second. Wait, whoa.
You already had some points going on.
Tannehill threw a touchdown is my guess.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Look at that. That's probably what I'm going to end with, that 14.25. That's probably my score for the week.
Definitely. This is obviously another one just like Hoyt and Antonio. Like winner's still in it, the loser's definitely done, right?
Right.
Like it's
simple, we'll see.
Simple as that. Well, simple as that. You're on the right track so far. Tannehill got a passing touchdown. I think
Careful though. Hunter's on a, what is it, 2-game win streak?
I believe two-game
Yeah.
win streak. Yeah. 2-game win
He's
streak.
crushing people's playoff dreams.
Number
yeah.
one waiver, so you got to beat him. You can't just match him. He's made the most amount of transactions, most amount of moves. I know he always likes to do that. I can't imagine Hunter finding a way into the playoffs though. Like he just even if he plays a good team, he just needs too many other things to be lucky. I did crunch the numbers to see like, is there any way that anyone actually has like clinched a playoff or eliminated for anything? Technically, theoretically, everyone is even still alive for the bye because there's only 3 games that separate second place and last. Rocha obviously will clinch a playoff spot with a win, or if I lose to Travis. I don't think anything else is actually is possible to be clinched this week other than Rocha officially clinching his ticket into the playoffs. But yeah, Nabil, I didn't agree with you for a long time, but like it's starting to look more and more open, even though there's clearly these are the top 2 teams. These are the top 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
Rocha and Travis they're going to be in. They're probably going to have the buys. I don't think Hunter has a shot just because of how far down he is. Like literally, I just don't think he's going to be able to make up the points to sneak in. I'll if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just don't think like he could win out and just I don't think he'll make it. Everyone else like is like it's got a shot, right?
I think in like the 6 to 12 range, someone's going to win out. There's a good chance
somebody,
one of the 6 will get on a hot streak and get the spot. So everyone has to just hope that they're the one that's perfect from here on out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also the perfect time is like, I've said it before, right? Like, just don't give up. Because at this point, like, I think to make this league the most interesting is you don't just like sell it out. Like if you've sold all your good players and you're just putting it, start playing those like boom bust players and like start wrecking some dreams, dude. Because it doesn't really matter if someone beats you by 70, but if you can beat them by 2 and keep them out of playoffs, like that's the way to go at that point.
That's the dream right there.
By foreshadowing, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have anything else really. Like I definitely don't want to. We skipped all our Niners talk because that was just not fun last week. I'm curious if you guys have any bold predictions going into this week. I know Nabil, you were teasing me with one before we started recording. James, do you have anything as far as bold? I didn't prepare anything, so if you don't, you're good. But if you have any bold predictions, I'd love to hear them.
My bold prediction is that Nabil goes over 125 for the first time this season. And gets the loss to Hunter.
Oh no!
Oh, brutal!
I don't want it. I want it for the bond.
No, you got him with the 1-2.
Yeah, you set me up for your haymaker.
That was brutal. I love it. I like that. I don't know. So you're saying that Hunter will also go over 125? That's pretty bold. That's the
bolder part of the prediction.
That's the bolder part of the prediction.
Oh, dude, he scored like a 150, right? So
it could happen.
The roster's different now than it was then.
Yeah. Okay. He's got mostly Washington football team players and the Raiders special teams. Lamar Jackson, like,
he's been a disappointment. I mean, as far as like
big time.
Because what did he didn't have to keep him at a high price, which is nice. But I mean,
he traded for him.
Lamar.
Antonio had him.
Right. But he was at 13th last season.
So they not show
or 11th or 12th or whatever. But
they don't show the keeper marks in the matchup for some reason. So let's look. What is he? And he's got him next year as a 10th. So like, there's no way Hunter's dealing Lamar, right? Like, even though.
Yeah, I mean,
I think like talent-wise, that'd be the kind of guy like he'd be trying to dump, but like there's no way he's getting rid of Lamar.
I feel like this season just wasn't the right season for the Ravens offensively for some reason. To be honest, I think what they need is another person to complement Hollywood Brown, because Hollywood Brown, he's a speedster and he's somewhat decent at route running, but he's not going to do anything to like go out and win you
the only thing you could say though is, I mean, Greg Roman's their play caller, right?
Good old Roman.
And same with Cap. Question marks on the throwing ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no doubt, great running. And 2-3 years down the line, all of a sudden, it was pretty predictable. And I don't know. I think you need a consistent, at least decent arm to stay relevant for.
Yeah, I think Lamar had a better. Kaepernick's throwing issues was just that he never learned how to put any touch on the ball. You know, Lamar has been able to make different kinds of throws, and Kaepernick absolutely like if everything was just like okay, just like
throw it as hard as
everything's gonna be 5-yard outs. Like I throw it as soon as they make the cut, like and just hope it like they got soft hands. Like he was good, but once they figured that out, or like like tight end like seam routes and stuff. Just throw it as hard as you can, or just like just throw a 60-yard bomb, and if it's picked off, who cares? It's like an arm punt. Like where Lamar, I think, is made able to make more like a variety of throws. But I see what you mean as far as the similarities of who's calling plays and are they really like is he really that elusive as he was 2 years ago? I don't know.
Someone was well, no, I still think he's a great runner. I think it's it's kind of the same issue that Kaepernick ended up having was those runs were more predictable in general of when they do it. But I think Lamar does have a better elusiveness than Kaepernick. But what's interesting that I recently just saw, I think it was on ESPN, was that they were saying there would be like hands down, no doubts that the Ravens would go to the Super Bowl if they swapped Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray is such a better passer than Lamar.
Maybe. Yeah,
but he's also just so small. Like I watch him play and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a kid out there.
You might be right, but it's also like Kyler Murray hasn't won an MVP yet, so let's not put him on the pedestal.
I know.
Like, there's a reason. There's a reason why they're sticking with Lamar Jackson. Nabil, what was your bold prediction though? I'm
all right. You ready for this? I was telling. So James, just so you know, and everyone who's listening, the way I preface this is it's going to be more confusing than bold. But okay, so for Mike Davis taking over for Christian McCaffrey, just as a projection that I think of what like is probably real or realistic enough would be 120 yards total, rush and air, 8 receptions and a touchdown. That's like kind of bold in itself.
26 points.
That'd be 26 points, but he's only done 25 points once. But I kind of count this as being bold because I'm going against my own projections is he won't score over double digits. Not with my projection.
Davis. Is he on your team?
He's not on my team.
Whose team?
I don't even know who has him. So my bigger point is
I like this a lot.
Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I very much think what I've said is bold, but even bolder is that he's not going to score double digits.
Like he has the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but McCaffrey came back last week. No, shut up. Hold up. McCaffrey came back last week.
So the 2 weeks that
I think at this point a bold prediction is that Nabil's going to have an actual bold prediction.
I mean,
you get what my point is and why it's bold because I still think that he is in like he's capable against the Tampa Bay. He put up 25 or 15 points before. And then from there, I think those 8, you can't count last week's 8 points because of Christian McCaffrey. The 2 previous, sure. I don't know what happened to Carolina because I feel like they didn't do very well that entire time.
They've lost 4 in a row. Like they just the wheels have fallen off in Carolina, just, with 2 of those being division games. I mean, they only lost by a score each. In the first 3 and then by 1 they've lost 4 games in a row by like 7 or less points, or 8 I guess for the Atlanta game, but so maybe the wheels falling off is a little bit premature to say, but I don't know. Mike Davis only has 2 rushing touchdowns in the year too. That's
well, all of them are through the air.
Right. So this stat is whenever like Yahoo, this will show you rushing touchdowns. If you click like into him, you can get like all of the details.
Yeah, I don't. It's so weird to me that they end up doing it where you can't scroll left and right. But
I don't. Yeah, and then apparently there's no stats available. So thanks a lot, Yahoo. I don't really have.
I hope you appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, I would love it for you to be correct. I am keeping a very just like solemn approach to this week. You know, I was looking at it, and like even if I went out, I feel like I need help still just to sneak in there. I am on the outside looking in, so I'm not by any means like trying to, you know, like build my like hype myself up. I just know like, look, if I get a win, I'm at 500 with 3 weeks to play. Great.
Actually,
but I'm not expecting it. Not expecting it by any means.
I feel like I need to. I mean, I personally feel this. You guys don't do this. I need to apologize because, Mr. Travis, who has stood by Christian Kirk, like, dude,
Yeah, man.
kind of has paid off. Like,
and he's gonna have him for at least 2 more good years. You know, as far
and
as like,
because it does seem like Kyler Murray and him are in sync. And I mean, can you just click on Christian Kirk's points?
And Larry Fitzgerald might retire this year or next.
Yeah.
So there's more targets available.
I feel like Fitz wants to go to the playoffs one more time.
Yeah, that's
Like,
I would agree.
And this year, like the Cardinals might do it. You know, like
Definitely not on Drake's back.
With 7 or maybe 8 teams in, like they still play. Like Buffalo's gonna be tough, Seattle's gonna be tough, but like New England's not looking very good. The Giants aren't looking very good. Like they should get like this should be 1, 2, 3, 4 easy wins. I'd say. What are they at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like to me, they've got 4 easy wins left on the schedule, and they already have 5 wins. Like, and they're good. So like they could easily win 10 or 11 games, and you could see the Cardinals in the playoffs. And I think Fitz, like he knows that you got to be really lucky to win a Super Bowl, but he wants to make that like one more title run, like one, you know, give me one more shot. So yeah, that stack could be if I don't know if Travis is planning on keeping both of them, but I probably would.
What is Boyd at?
Russ.
Boyd's probably lower. Like, I think he was actually drafted.
4. Yeah. No, you can't take Kirk over Boyd with the pure. And Parker at 3, Juju is gonna be
now
yeah.
1.
Yeah, Montgomery. You can't, like that's to me like Travis, like it's kind of scary that like he's got a
Ruggs is actually. I think Ruggs is 8. So I mean, 7. So yeah, that's probably his keepers right there. Is I would keep the stack if it keeps performing.
I would keep the stack if I were him, but you know, I don't run Travis's team. Travis does, so. Well, I think we're gonna cut it a little short, but I'm okay with that. It's been a long week for me, with just like a lot of work BS, but like good stuff. So I don't know how you guys are doing, but I'm like ready for a nap.
Amen. It has been a long like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has been, but it's always good to talk to you guys. Nabil, you got anything else you want to say before we sign off?
That's it. Peace out, homie.
All right. James, Nabil, thanks a lot. Thanks to you guys for listening. I apologize to those of you who are expecting this to go an hour again, but we're just not going to do that today. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace.